Hey, Kevin here. Welcome to Quantum Clairvoyance with myself, Kevin, who is an evidential psychic medium with many years of experience. And then I have here with me Kaha, also known as Angela. Hi, Angela.
Hello.
Hi. So we're going to be discussing today the topic of hypnosis. And we're kind of going to be going into just what hypnosis is, some of the benefits of hypnosis, maybe even some of the myths of hypnosis that I think would be a good idea to kind of clear up. So, if you don't mind, Angela, you want to just quickly introduce yourself and kind of take it on from there?
Sure. My name is Angela. My nickname is Kaha. People call me Kaha. Um, I am a psychic and a medium as well. Not the 350 years of experience that Kevin has, but close, right? I'm getting there, right?
You don't look like
And
it.
I'm also, huh?
You don't look like it.
Oh, thanks.
I do.
So essentially, I also do intuitive healing and I do healing through hypnosis and manifestation and mindset coaching as well.
Awesome. So,
So,
can you kind of give us an idea of, I guess, just what hypnosis is? And can you also tell us, because you are a certified hypnotist, correct? You have your
yes.
certification in it. So, can you just give us kind of an idea of just what it is and how it works?
Sure. So hypnosis is basically a tool, it's just a tool like meditation. It's a little deeper state of relaxation than your typical meditation. Different, slightly different brainwave activity. Um, but it allows the person to, if they trust enough and to open up and to really relax, it allows the subconscious to kind of be a little bit more alert and open to positive suggestion and change and healing. Whereas in a normal conscious state, typically speaking, the ego is the gatekeeper, right? And it typically does just that. It gatekeeps. So it doesn't want to allow others to really kind of get in there and root around, including sometimes the person, right? So sometimes people talk about not even remembering childhood, et cetera, et cetera. So even they themselves have a hard time getting into their subconscious because they've kind of put it in a lockbox and chucked it into David Jones' locker. So that
Interesting.
is what it's used for.
Okay, so and you use the term subconscious. So hypnosis
Mm.
is definitely tapping into the subconscious aspect of our psyche.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and you also mention kind of like a lot of people. Some people say I don't quite remember my childhood, and is that an aspect of what would be known maybe as disassociating, like from those maybe even painful memories?
I would say so. I'm not a clinical psychiatrist or psychologist, but I would absolutely put them into that category. And there are also some beliefs that it's soul fragmentation as well. It's kind of like the soul removes itself. And it's like if you can kind of imagine like stepping outside of the body, right? And then and partially maybe not even reintegrating that part. So sometimes, spiritually speaking, there are some beliefs, right? I'm not the end all be all. It's just a way, not the way. There are some beliefs that there are like soul fragments, right? And reintegrating parts of yourself back into so you're whole.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
absolute sense. So, actually, if we kind of look at it on like a deeper level, let's say like a dissociative identity
Mm-hmm.
disorder, yes, where an experience is so painful they disassociate and go to another identity. It's just not to that extreme, but it is I guess, would you call it a block, a mental block
Yes.
maybe from a painful experience? Okay,
Yep.
and I've also have done some. There's also some really good peer reviews, some peer studies and reviews on how hypnosis can be effective for habits like quitting smoking, negative thinking, and even say it could be effective in cases of even like depression and anxiety and things like that. Can you talk a little bit maybe about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That those are studies that have been found. It's also been found to help in people, cancer patients who are going through chemotherapy, and how it affects the body because the mind is so powerful,
Mm,
right? And the subconscious is always going to kind of win over the conscious, regardless. And Dr. David R. Hawkins, actually speaks about it a great deal in his book Healing and Recovery. He essentially healed within himself through hypnosis and meditation and just really subconscious reframing and rewiring, like we were talking about neuroplasticity, to
yes.
where he had several ailments and several issues um, that he rid himself of, like forever, just
Interesting.
by reframing the way he saw them, his internal belief system.
Now you
And
mentioned
then that's
something
the mind
about
heart.
thing like the subconscious will kind of always win. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Do you think we don't give the subconscious enough credit? What do you feel about that?
Oh yeah. Well, I think people are just so enmeshed in surface. I think people are typically clinging to the 3D. They cling to things that are just surface level, and your conscious thoughts are surface level. But they talk about affirmations and they talk about manifestations, and people are writing sticky notes and posting them all over their
Mm,
inside of their car and their
right,
mirrors.
right.
But if you're affirming every day, like, I am beautiful, I am rich, I am ripped and giant and got
Yeah,
big muscles and all the women love me, but
beautiful.
inside, while you're saying it, you hear, no, you don't, no, you're not.
That
That's
inner
your subconscious.
dialogue, that inner dialogue, right?
That
With
is your
your
true
subconscious
belief.
talking to your conscious.
Yeah,
Interesting. So you're, in other words, you're saying you could write all you want, but if you don't internalize it, if you personally don't believe it, what you're saying or what you're writing, then essentially you're not going to
doesn't
believe
matter.
it. So it's going to have little to no effect.
Correct.
So hypnosis actually kind of brings about that installing that belief then, not
Yeah,
just
it's like
writing
installing a
and
new program.
saying it. Because you could see something all day long till you're blue in the face. It's not until you
Yes,
internalize that, right?
yes, yes. It's like
Interesting, very
installing an app,
interesting.
a new app on your phone, but you got to use the app. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. So
So
yeah, so I personally have heard of the clinical side as well. Now, can you talk a little bit about the spiritual side, specifically what we're actually going to do, which is past life regression with hypnosis?
absolutely. Past life regression is super cool, and it can be also very informative. It can help shed light on things you may struggle with in this life. It could shed light on trauma that you have in this life that has been carried over. Um, Even physical ailments that you have in this life, or obesity, or it's very interesting. Like Dr. Brian Weiss, he
Yes.
speaks about many of his
Yes.
clientele,
And if you
and
guys don't know
somebody.
Brian Weiss, I encourage you to look into Brian Weiss. He's a psychiatrist who worked with past life regression for many, many years of his practice with a clinical approach, guys. So this is something clinical and it's evidential. Brian does this work for many years, like Angela's work, and it's quite astonishing because I've actually read a lot of his literature. And yes, you're exactly right. There are people who have certain behaviors and they wonder why do I do this? Why do I do it? And they realize it's linked to a past life that's kind of seeping into their conscious, although it be from before.
Yep, because it's
Wow,
so deeply ingrained.
wow,
And
that,
it's
that's
very
very
interesting,
interesting.
like anger. Oh, he had one client who was morbidly obese in this lifetime, and he found that they died of starvation in the last life. So
Whoa,
subconsciously, they were like storing.
whoa,
Very, very, very
that's
interesting.
intriguing. That is so intriguing. Can you take us a little bit into more of the technicality side of hypnosis. So I kind of want to talk about like the beta states, the alpha states, the relaxation states. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, beta is the place where we like to work is in theta.
Okay,
Theta, um, and you've got theta, then delta. So delta is at the bottom, which is going to be the slower, more like a very deep sleep.
got
And
it.
then you've got theta, then you've got alpha, then you've got beta, and now you even have gamma,
Okay,
as which the Tibetan monks have brought into kind of into view with scientists recently. And then they even have a state above gamma. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The
interesting.
theta brain waves, it's like
Yeah.
a light sleep or a meditative state.
Okay.
And the best way I can explain it for hypnosis, because in meditation, you're still a little bit more conscious. Like you're
You're
still like you're
relaxed,
usually
but you're very still aware.
right, right.
Okay.
In meditation, typically you're seated, right? So
Right.
you can't
Right.
really be in the falling asleep phase. You'll fall
Got it.
over, right? So
Absolutely. So
hypnosis,
to an extent, you kind of have to have an alertness because you're not ready to completely fall asleep.
right,
While in
right,
hypnosis, you can be absolutely ready to fall asleep.
right, right. In hypnosis, you're just a little bit more. So you're kind of towing that line of when you're about to fall asleep and you catch yourself and and being more conscious. So it's a little deeper than regular meditation, I guess is the best way
Is,
I can put it.
is that like the semi-conscious state when you're almost falling asleep and you jolt up and you're like, whoa, oh, I didn't realize I was going to sleep. And it's almost like a jolt and you're like, oh, is that kind
Yeah.
of going in that, it's
Yes.
experimenting in that frequency or that state,
Right.
that
It
state.
is a very
Okay. So
open state.
someone like myself that is actually going to receive past life regression from you, and I 100% do trust you because you have your certification, number one, but number two is also I kind of wanted to go in and maybe kind of clear up some of the myths that surround hypnosis. And I think people get a silly idea, Angela, that hypnosis, you're going to quack like a duck and you're going to bark like a dog upon command, not remember what happened, and maybe even do something that you really don't want to do. So,
Right.
if we could kind of go into those. When I'm going under hypnosis, am I going to be asleep or am I going to be in control?
You're totally in control. Yeah, you're
Okay.
not asleep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're
it's not going to
100%
be
conscious. You're in control of
a,
your body. You can feel your body. You can hear what's going on. Like you're very in
now,
control.
can you make me do something that I really don't want to do and it's against my values and core beliefs?
No. If I
No.
did, it would be the same thing as me talking to you right now saying to do it. You'd be like,
So I
no.
still wouldn't do it. I'd be like, no, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
that actually brings a lot of comfort because I think people get the idea of like 1, 2, 3 sleep. And you're like this, and it's like bark like a dog, and the person starts barking like a dog, right? So that's good to know. That's good to know. That expels that expels
Yeah.
a lot of the anxiety of what if, right? Now the other thing I think that I also wanted to kind of understand if it's more of myth or if it's more factual is will I remember the session?
You will.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, okay. So I'm not going to say crazy things and not have any recollection.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, well, that makes me feel a lot more comfortable. And for those of you that are watching too, is if you have these questions and you're concerned, I completely get it because I've never been through a hypnotic past life regression. And I know Angela is certified, and I've known Angela for a long time now, so I very much do trust her. But I understand people that are just watching, they're like, well, I don't know Angela, and I can
Right.
understand that. But is someone who has their certification in this, you can kind of rest assured that you know what you're doing. And can you talk maybe a little bit about that, Angela, and specifically maybe even working with people who may experience like trauma, not wanting to reopen the trauma, maybe not, of course,
Absolutely.
opening it, but maybe not in a certain aspect of how to deal with even trauma.
Right. So trauma can absolutely come up.
Okay.
Um, but it is very important. And even, in the hypnosis, it's something I'll even remind you. And you might even just not need reminding because you might just retain it from here. But
Okay.
um, if it does come up, it's important because it's important to remember that when you're in the past life regression, you are, I'll ask you to look down at yourself, your hands, your feet, your clothes, and you can be within your body of whom, right? You're reliving.
Yes.
But if you start to experience something that's uncomfortable, you can absolutely come outside of this and now disassociate or dissociate and watch it like a movie. So now you're dissociated and you're actually watching you in your past life. And it's very important to not re traumatize, right? Because if you, sometimes people, some people won't be re traumatized. I wasn't when I did it at all. But some people, depending upon their
Maybe
emotional
if you're
state, where they
working
are energetically,
with like,
speech, like,
if you're working with someone like PTSD that has it actively,
yeah,
or something like that, where they can almost reenact that trauma. So what you're
right,
saying is you kind of take the client and you have them see the trauma, but not live in the trauma.
yes,
Interesting.
yes,
So they're separating their conscious and their subconscious from the trauma. So they're not reliving it.
correct, yes.
Okay.
It's
And
very
it's very
important to
important, right?
disassociate.
Okay. Okay. Super important.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And that's why,
specifically for traumatic experiences. Yes,
would you agree or disagree, Angela, that you should get hypnosis from somebody who holds a certification?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
And someone that you do trust, because and also you have to believe in it, right? You have to really, as again, like I always say, your beliefs are going to be your existence.
Yes.
So, I got a hypnosis, I don't know, 20 years ago from a girlfriend of mine. She was like, and I didn't want to like sweets anymore. That clearly didn't work. But I went in and I was just like, this is such hogwash. We can do a hypnosis. I was like, okay, sure. Like, whatever. And I just sat down and we did the hypnosis and I'm there and I'm not in it at all. Like, I have my eyes closed and I'm doing the whole thing. But I was like, okay, I'm listening. And I got relaxed. But that was pretty much it. And I was just thinking the whole time, this is so dumb. Right?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
And
But
it just, nothing stuck.
interesting. I find that interesting because I think I know exactly your mentality, because when I first started understanding hypnosis for meditation, I thought maybe I was going to go under and feel something crazy, or,
Right.
but what I've noticed too, and you may agree with this, Angela, and I want to know, as you having your certification, if you do agree with this, is the bigger, stronger imagination you have, the more hypnosis you might be susceptible. A lot of people think, oh, I'm too strong minded. But actually, it's when you're strong minded and you have a big imagination, it could even be more effective, correct?
I would say yes, but you just have
Okay.
to be able to let go.
Can you explain what that means, let go? What's the process of that? Like, would it be full trust?
Honestly,
Is that what we're talking about? Just
trust.
full trust?
Trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because
So
you're
same
safe.
thing with the therapeutic process with a therapist, a psychiatrist. If you don't really trust that therapeutic process and you don't trust that person, what good is the therapeutic process?
Exactly.
Same thing with hypnosis being a process of trust. It's very important that you do trust the person that you're working with,
Yep.
which makes total sense with anything, really, if you think about it. And that's why I tell my clients, Angela, like, hey, thank you for trusting me in this reading, because part of it is the trust factor. It is
Absolutely.
when they're getting a reading from me. There's a part of trust that this person is saying, "I trust you with my loved ones. The
Yep.
information is going to come forth." In the same sense with hypnosis, I'm trusting you with the information that's going to come forth, and I
Yep.
know you have your certification, so you have your education in it. You understand trauma. You understand these things, so it just makes it a more comfortable for me personally. And I think people watching this, they should feel more comfortable, specifically if they are interested in doing something like this.
Right.
with you specifically, because I've known you in your readings and things like that. I haven't been under hypnosis with you, but I know in your readings you're super gentle. You have a great way of delivery with your method. So I trust that, the hypnosis process will be the very similar way. Trust that, the hypnosis process will be the very similar way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we are going to do that, guys. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go off of here, and what we're going to do, we are going to record it via Zoom. And I'm going to determine if it's something that I want to put, have you guys see, depending on, what it is, obviously, because I really don't know how the process is going to be. But I want to make in a point that I am going to post it, because I do want you guys to kind of see what the process is like, how Angela works as a hypnotist, and just kind of I kind of see what this process is. And so I'm very, very curious. I was pretty anxious. I feel a lot more alleviated from the anxiety now, because the myths have been exposed. So I feel a lot more comfortable. I know I'm not going to do something like bark like a dog that I don't want to do. So
Unless
um,
you want to bark
yeah.
like a dog.
Right, right. Now, I have done, for me personal, I've done self hypnosis with like
Hmm.
deep, deep meditation. And let me tell you guys, I will tell you this. If you really want to develop psychically in your psychic abilities, your clairs, your mediumship, hypnosis is the way to go. I promise you. It's just a meditation, it's a deeper form of it. And I know that sounds simple, but trust me, the deeper meditation you can go, the deeper your abilities enhance. Can you talk, one last thing, Angela, a little bit about, let's say somebody wants to come to you for intuition enhancement? Can that be
Oh yeah,
effective as
absolutely.
well? Because it
Absolutely.
has in my case, and I've just
Yeah.
seen some YouTube videos. But you specifically, let's say somebody knows for a fact that they're more clairaudient or clairvoyant. Now, do you use specific kind of affirmations to kind of bring these particular abilities out?
I don't specifically have affirmations, but it's
Okay,
essentially the same kind of idea as the walk through hypnosis or meditation or whatever. It's a
got it.
visualization
Yeah,
process, just
yeah,
like hypnosis, just like meditation.
yes,
And essentially, we're working with your guides and we're working with your angels, ancestors, or whatever label the client goes with,
yeah.
right?
So
Whatever
whatever, like
they're comfortable with.
higher power, higher energy.
Right,
Okay,
higher power,
okay,
source, or
source. Yeah, okay,
loving light energies, or whatever the person
right,
is comfortable
right,
with.
right.
And essentially, we're just going to work through and remove any kind of blocks that they are holding on themselves because they're holding themselves back, not any outside force, right? We are our
Right,
own worst
right,
enemies. We
correct.
create the blocks.
So
So
the
it could
majority of the
be,
time, if there is a block, it goes back to self. It goes back to
yeah,
us.
it's all back to self. It's all self hypnosis. It's all self healing. There's no other form.
So
Nobody else is
all
going to
hypnosis is self
self
hypnosis.
hypnosis. Absolutely.
So we are 100% in control.
Absolutely.
Oh, see, that just rids all the anxiety. Because at that
Yeah.
point, if I'm in control, then yeah,
Yeah.
that gives
I'm
me
just
more
the
confidence.
facilitator. Like, I'm
Right.
just facilitating it and giving you something to listen to go through the journey, something to visualize. All hypnosis is self hypnosis, and all healing is self healing.
Now, I do want to stress though, hypnosis, from what my understanding is very powerful. Though it may seem simple, like it's all self and it's meditative, which yes, it's a hypnotic form of a meditative state, but it's very powerful. I do want to stress
Yes.
that, because when I used to do regular meditations, Angela, I used to get um advances. Don't get me wrong, like I would go, oh yeah, I meditated, I can tell. But when I started looking into hypnotic meditation to enhance psychic and mediumship ability, I was like, whoa. It was kind of like a whole nother level of
Yeah.
relaxing and receiving. Very, very, very powerful. very powerful. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I don't want to make it sound like, oh, well, it's just, a meditation, because it is. But let me tell you, I find it's a lot more powerful than just sitting there in meditation.
Right. I would agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I am actually, excited to do this, more excited than
Yay.
anxious now, because I'm glad we kind of, got rid of the myths and what people, what you see sometimes on TV and shows. And
Right.
so
Absolutely.
so yeah, so let's do this. I really, really want to do this. So we're gonna kind of do the induction and the past life to see. Um, Now, just me being curious, as someone who's gonna go under and experience this, have I had a past life? Will I know if I have? And what if somebody hasn't had a past life?
Um, More often than not, I don't think I've ever met anybody who has not had a past life.
Okay.
But you can also go into future lives.
Whoa. Can you explain that a little bit? Like a quantum jump?
Yeah, you can see future lives if that's where you want to go.
Whoa. Yeah, because time being kind of
Not linear.
conceptualized. Right. That is so intriguing. I maybe we could go on to that a little bit more, but later, because that would be really interesting too. But yeah, I really, really do want to get this started. So thank you everyone for watching and being
Yeah,
here and
super
joining
excited.
and listening to this. I hope you guys got something out of it. And again, we are going to come back. I'm going to tell you what it felt like. I'm going to kind of tell you what I experienced, and it's going to be on camera. So whatever happens is going to happen, and it's going to be coming from a peer review. So if nothing happens, nothing happens. If something
And that's
happens,
fine too.
something happens, and that's what's going to make this very, very intriguing. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you
And I
everyone.
think that's actually the most one of the, another important point is no
Okay.
judgment. There's no
Mm,
judgment of what you find. If you only think it's your imagination, if it's something you feel like you're making up, there's no judgment, right? And you're not. I don't want people to judge what does come up or what doesn't. Like
okay.
it just is,
It just
right?
is.
I have a feeling I'm pretty sure you're not going to come up with nothing,
Right.
but
Right.
because you're strong, your people around you are strong.
Gotcha.
But even if you're just like it's just blank,
Yeah.
you might even be in an interlife,
Mm. Can you explain that a little
right?
bit?
So yeah, the interlife. So it's between lives.
Lives and future, kind of like in between.
So it's after you've passed
Yeah.
and you're back in consciousness, interlife.
Kind of like the here and now.
Kind of like the consciousness, kind of like what we work with the divine.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it
Okay.
is the
So
in between.
got it. So in between, though, meaning the spiritual in between.
Yes.
Got it. So we're
So there
here.
may just be darkness, like just
Got
you
it.
don't see anything. There's no
Interesting.
visualization. It could very well be an
Interesting.
interlife.
And see, that's really important because, like we were talking about with time, past, present, future, again, we conceptualize that. But in reality, you and I both know, Angela, as clairvoyants, when we talk about time, it really, in the psychic realm, there is no time. It's just
Right.
all a eternal space, right?
Right. Essentially, like our 100 years here is like a fart in the wind, right? So you pass, you go back to source, you twiddle your thumbs for 5 seconds and you're like, okay, I want to go back. And it's been however many years long, right?
So
It's
we can also
very, very interesting.
perceive time differently as well, right? Some people might be like, oh, today felt like such a long day. And somebody else might say, today zoomed by. So it's
Yeah,
also kind of how we feel time too, right? When we think
absolutely.
of 24 hours and we're really waiting for something the next day, we're like, oh my God, these hours are forever. But if we're not, it's like it could fly by. So that's really intriguing. That is super intriguing. Okay, well, why don't we start this? I'm going to go ahead and end this live, and then Angela, what we'll do, we'll correlate. We'll go on Zoom.
Zoom.
We'll do this session, and we'll
Sure.
come back, guys, and we'll tell you how it went, and we'll post and see how it went.
I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Me too. Me too.
All right,
Me
cool.
too. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching, joining. I hope this was insightful for you guys. I hope it was interesting, like it was definitely for me. But yeah, we will be back on to let you know how it went. Okay, Angela, I will see you soon.
All right. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.